Next up, we have Guards of the Cult from the Assassin's Creed Odyssey The Flight soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, what I'm telling you to use, like the video, comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server, join the Patreon, subscribe to the gaming channel, subscribe to the Reacts channel, how to request songs even on the live stream, members, getting early access to the content, I have a spiel for this and a bunch of other things that on this video, stick around for that. Disclaimers. Showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video to read it in full. Otherwise, please be patient with me. I am acoustic and guitarded, so please keep that in mind. With that, let's do this. Guards of the Cult, let's go. Okay. So we start with what sounds to be like a very windy kind of synth. It almost sounds like a gym synth. This one is just anecdotal, it's just how I associate this kind of synth. We then have a hit of a drum, a bit of chanting it sounds, and then we have the Greeks version of the lute. The lute being this very... This instrument has been around. It's very common throughout Central, Eastern Europe, the Middle East. Like almost every country in like Europe and North Africa and the Middle East has their own variation of this instrument, right? So we're having the variation of this. Yes, Banana, there is. I keep forgetting the name of the Greek variation because I'm not an expert in world music instruments, and I always forget these kinds of names. So it's the Greek lute, basically, and we're having that one giving us a little bit of a melody which might contain our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of a musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. Let's see where this goes. There we go, another hit of the drums. This time we bring in the James a little bit higher. And let's see where it goes. A second one, full drum beat. The Assassin's Creed woman singing from above. Okay, a little bit of a bass there. It's looking like a double bass trombone combo maybe. And there you go. Strapping horse here really tight really is the highest form of music. I mean, that's just for the violin bows, you know? That's just for bows in general. Like, there were many other ways of making strings in the back in the day. Most of them were not very pleasant. Yeah, no, like the invention of nylon was really, really good. Really good for all of us. So... we are having this, and we're slowly, it looks like every single time we're adding one more layer to this, and in between we are using one of the most devastatingly effective tools, one of the loudest things a composer has at their disposal, silence. Let's hear it more. Go full drum beat. There's the melody this time around, full melody. Okay, so we're having a little bit of counterpoint going on over here, and it turns out that each time at the start, we were getting incomplete versions of the motif. This, not as risky as some of the stuff we've seen earlier, but it is kind of a risk. So you're developing it something like that, and nylon isn't the material used to make socks. If you do it really, really fine, then yes, you can make like nylon stockings. But nylon strings, those are very common in classical guitars. Those are used in classical guitars. And then you have like the other strings, I think. What are some common materials made out of strings? What are guitar strings made of? Let's see, what are guitar strings made of? So yeah, you have steel, nickel, and bronze. Okay, so yeah, with nickel, primarily nickel. I would say nickel, bronze. Yeah, bronze makes a lot of sense. And there you go. And then nylon with fluorocarbon for classical guitars. There you go. What are piano strings? Because piano strings are kind of universal. High carbon steel. Music wire. Okay, music wire is going to be something like that. Okay, interesting. 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 Well, we all learned something today, right? I am gonna forget this. Anyway, so we every iteration, it looks like we are adding a little bit more. So not only are we adding another layer vertically, we're adding a little bit more horizontally, almost like we are slowly opening the door and letting more and more of the music in every single time. This is a really cool concept. Again, it's a risk to not give the full motif at the start, but so far, I like it. And of course, we're having the other instruments above and below entering in some counterpoint. Counterpoint, to study the art of melodies. How they are, how they develop, how they interact with one another, usually in the context of having two or more melodies playing at the same time. Right now you can hear that the original motif is kind of driven back a little bit. We have some brass, we have a synth there, we're doing a lot more melodies, developing that motif further, but they're all happening at the same time, allowing us to get a far more complex and rich sound. Let's see where this goes. Alright, that's a bass. Focusing more on the drums and bass. Some texture. There's the... Yeah, every time we have some part of the melody. And off the ramp we go. Off the ramp, of course, being a colloquial term that I use, right? Colloquial, by that I mean there is no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I like to call any type of transition that makes your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land. Kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do this? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well. As we're seeing over here, we're switching over to the primarily lighter percussions over here, giving a little bit of levity, but the background synth with the texture is keeping that it's keeping a white noise that is kind of pushing back down. It's interesting. Heard of Dokotsu Monogatari? No, I've watched Bakemonogatari, but not. I don't think that's the same thing you're talking about. Yep, it's Freudian slip. What? Wait, what? You can break the wire, bending the back. Non-Freudian slip. Anyway, so yeah, we're having this white noise, and this white noise has been there. Like it's there every time that there's sound. And when it comes to this kind of stuff, there's very rarely accidental sounds, or accidental sounds that you keep. So that being there, I mean, it's Guards of the Cult, right? So there's going to be some sort of like somber, macabre kind of sound in the background. We're achieving it with that white noise, like ever-present white noise, that even when there's some silence, it's still there. Okay. So yeah, even though the white noise is white noise and you kind of ignore it, it's still there, and you notice it when there's silence. And you know what else you can notice when there's silence? The Patreon. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. If you want to support this channel more than you already are, consider joining a Patreon today. Even if you're not pledging any funds, do join the free tier at least, because where the non-gaming LFAs are going. What are those? Anime, film, TV, label music, the kind of stuff that we usually don't do on the main channel on YouTube. Why? What we do on YouTube is inherently fair use. That does not stop bad actors, such as record labels, film studios, independent individual rats, scammers out there, from abusing the copyright system on YouTube. So, in order to just not deal with that for these LFAs, we're putting them here exclusively on Patreon, free for everyone to watch, with paid members, citizen tier and above, getting early access to the content. So, if you want to support this channel more than you already are, you want to catch that exclusive content, consider becoming a member today. Consider becoming a paid member today. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Thank you to those who are already members, especially those who are paid members, particularly Real Nemesis, Frenchka, Amaya, and Quebelco. Your support means the world to me. For everybody else, become a member today. Consider becoming a paid member today. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Linked in the description down below. Patreon.com/JamesRBasterd. Become a member today. All right, back we go. Let's just jump straight back into it. I want to see how this plays out. Yeah, there's some vocals there in the background, yeah. Okay, so we have, we bring the drums back. We have a cymbal, sounds almost like a gong in the background. We have the violins. We have lower strings, like lower violins, violas, cello, double bass, holding down the chords. We have now the bass drum doubling the lute over the lute. It kind of sounds between a lute and a dulcimer. Well, that's what the Greek lute sounds like. And excuse me. And we are having a doubling, a rhythmic doubling. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument doing the same thing at the same time. And in this case, you can hear that whenever the lute, here the Greek lute, plays a note, the bass drum is hitting right there, over there, which I guess could be in character. That you're ignoring everything else and you're pushing through regardless. So yeah, we're having that. Let's see where it goes. All right, silence. Oh, we're adding some trombones and tuba, it seems, with the strings. Playing now the melody. There you go. Now we're getting the full melody. Rhythmic variation with some accentuation here and there. No, this time you actually can hear the accents. So, accentuation in music, you're highlighting specific points in the music. Accents in music, accents are a type of articulation. Articulations are different ways that you can play the same note. And an accent in music is, well, you're carrying out an accentuation. Accentuation is when you have another instrument playing and highlighting a specific part of the rhythm. An accent is usually you playing a little bit harder, the note a little bit harder. So there's a difference between me playing a chord like this, right? Like there's a difference between that and me doing this. Like those points where I'm punching harder, I'm playing an accent on those. So we're using something like that right now to displace the rhythm a little bit, to give the illusion that we're using a different beat than we actually are. Let's see where this goes. Male chorus over there. Okay, so male chorus comes in, plays a little bit of that motif, a variation of the motif, engages in a call and response with the rest of the ensemble. Call and response being musical conversation. We're having the male choirs doing the call, then we have the rest, I think it's the strings doing the response, right? We're having each phrase over there. Sounds Egyptian? No, it sounds Greek. Which, don't forget, Greek and Egyptian have a lot of overlap. They have a lot of overlap because the cultures influenced each other so much. So it sounds Middle Eastern. No, it sounds Mediterranean. Middle Eastern is very, very different. Middle Eastern has a lot more. It has a lot more woodwind, a lot lighter percussions. It's usually not as heavy as this. This kind of stuff, very Mediterranean. Do not go to the Greeks and tell them that the Mediterranean is the same as the Middle East. Do not do that, lest you end up as Marvel. Let me just refill my water bottle. For those of you who don't know, Marvel did a blunder with the first Iron Man movie. And it just showed how, the Hollywood types don't know their geography. Because in Iron Man 1, Tony Stark gets kidnapped by very clearly Middle Eastern Taliban terrorists, and they speak Hungarian. And they're speaking Hungarian. They are some of the most visibly Middle Eastern people, and they're speaking Hungarian. And Hungary is right next to Austria. Yeah, no, if you look at this, at the parts, they're all speaking, there's the part, Tony Stark has, the mentor guy, the guy that helps him build the proto-Iron Man suit, and when the guys are, knocking on the door, asking him, oh, what the fuck is going on, mia fast, 8 birds, that means a minute. So if you go back and you watch Iron Man, the first movie, yeah, he gets kidnapped by Hungarian Middle Easterners. So, are you saying that Austria is Middle Eastern? No, they were saying that Hungary is Middle Eastern. Which, saying that to the Hungarians who were occupied by the Ottoman Empire for 400 years, that's how could this, like, if you were to do this, like 400 years, that's almost as bad as the slave trade in the Americas. It's like if you went, what would be a comparable thing? Caliphate of Hungary coming to a Hungarian state near you? I know, right? I know, it was odd to have that. Cause yeah, no, it would be, yeah, I don't know, like I'm pretty sure there's some parallels you can draw to like American slavery. With that, like some sort of like that kind of insensitive kind of thing. So yeah, no. Anyway, we're getting derailed over here. So yeah, no, do not ever go to the Mediterranean and mix it up with Middle Eastern. Do not ever go to a Norwegian and call them Swedish. Do not ever go to a Swedish, call them Norwegian. Do not ever go to a Danish person and call them Swedish or Norwegian. Do not ever go to a Serb. Do not ever go to a Serb and call him Bosnian. So there you go. Mego mi Fujikura, welcome today. How you doing? Anyway, let's see where it goes. There's the strings there, and now both together. How's my favorite slime girl doing? There you go, continuing the drums. Do call a Serbian Russian? Oh god, no. Oh god, no. Was that for Slovenians? No, that's for Belarusians. That's for Belarus. That's for Belarus. That's very different. Like, if you call a Slav anything except their extremely specific ethnicity, I hope you have a will. I hope you have a will written up and everything, because you ain't making it out. You ain't making it out. Like, especially, do not call any of the former Yugoslavians Albanian. Never confuse German for Austrians. Ah, no, do. Those do. Who cares? Who cares? They'll just lose another war. So, anyway, so yeah, we're having the full drums. We're letting the music play out. And can you go to Bosnia and call them Herzegovina? Sure. Those, yes. Call from the vocals, giving us the part of the motif. Lute coming back with the next part. There, John. Alright, that's fine. It's good to have you. Oh, developing that melody further. In concert, still continuing the same, just letting things play out. High synth there. Alright. Back to just the lute there. New variation of the motif. While we have now the rest of the orchestra, I'll be bringing the trumpets high up, giving us that impending sound. Bringing the bass. It drops down. Let's see where it goes. Ooh. There's the lute now, giving us an elongation of the motif. Elongation being a way that you can develop your material in which you do a slower version of something you've done before. In this case, you can really hear that lute. I'm going to continue calling it a lute because I keep forgetting the name of the instrument. And we're just really just highlighting, making sure that it sounds slower than everything else. As it goes. There is this texture. Have the brass violins coming back in. Higher synths, heavier drums, heavier bass. Is that a guitar? Is that guitar? No, I think that's a bass. Ooh. Oh, cool. A lot of doublings. Having what? The strings, maybe the one of the lutes, and maybe like the French horns, giving us this this like rhythmic variation of this. And still, we're having the drum beat underneath, establishing a very cool bass line, very oppressive in its way, like very heavy. And then on top of that, we're still persevering with everything else. Very lightweight, like very up in the air kind of melodies, because, you know, it's Assassin's Creed. The theme of the eagle stays consistent, right? Let's see where this goes. Still repeated notes for the motif. Moving some stuff. Back to just the lutes and bass. That extra, like, triangle-like, that's another Greek percussion. Had the drums there in the back. Brass there. Double bass is taking the melody. One last run of the violins. Oh, and it turns out the violins were doing some tremolo. Okay, so tremolo in music, it's basically rolling your R's when you talk about it as a technique, as an articulation, right? Sorry. So basically, instead of playing one long note, you basically play a lot of shorter notes. So we have the violins there giving us a tableau that could have been part of the texture. I just missed it because there was a lot going on. And yeah, no, we just bring everything back down. We have the double basses being the ones that actually finish the motif. And with that, there you have it. Guards of the Cult from the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Flight soundtrack. That was awesome. Like, I think Assassin's Creed Odyssey was the last good Assassin's Creed. It wasn't great, but I think it was a good game, and the music really reflected it. The other games were okay to just flat out bad, but Odyssey, I think it was, they took the lessons they learned from Origins, and they put them to really good use over here. Tremolo, breaking note, Chinese amateur shatter historically, not quite. Anyway, there you go. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever you need to use. Like the video, share the comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, don't forget to join the Discord server. That's where everything gets announced first, whether it's the streams going live, the videos going up the channels, updates, projects, giveaways, everything gets announced there first. We have the community there. We hang out, we chat, we steal memes from other people's servers, claim them as our own, where I host the Vintage Story community server, that kind of stuff. Also, share these videos with everybody that you know. Use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group on the Discord that coordinates for that, so linked in the description of the channel. Grow. Members get early access to the content I schedule. The videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting you in 3.5 seconds, I'll be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions of what to do. If you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim from Monday through Friday. We stream live on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick so that you can tune in from whichever platform you prefer. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch, both linked in the description. So, if you live in Minotaur, Force base, and you're like, yeah, but what time is whatever time it is in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. Just go to Discord or Twitch, both linked in the description, and it's going to show the streaming schedule up to date in your local time zone, accounting for daylight savings if necessary. And subscribe to the gaming channel. Follow the gaming channel, because of course I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are a bastard. It's up with the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We play games on the later part of the stream, and then the VODs for every game we play live eventually end up over here. So subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd, sub the J for a G, and you got it. And subscribe to the Reacts channel. LFAs are React format. This is where we are putting the Reacts for everything else. James Reacts Basterd. Subscribe to the channel, linked in the description, or search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Extend the R to Reacts, and you got it. Thank you again for 1,000 subscribers here. Really do appreciate it. And yeah, there you have it. Guards of the Cult, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the Flight. That was fun, dude. Also, I mean, Assassin's Creed still gets the music right at the very least. So there you go. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.